Tonight, latest new Q post is Peter Strzok is set to testify in front of Congress, and this is breaking news. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. For those of you who don't know, every one of these episodes starts the same way. I thank you, the subscribers, who make this channel possible. So thank you to each and every one of you. And if you have not hit that subscribe button, please come here to the landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as these videos get posted, you'll be notified, because as soon as information is made available to me, I make it available to you. Now, before we get into the latest Q post, we're going to go back. The last video, the one that's just been posted before this, is covering this incredible set of Q posts. And there's so many that I basically decided to break it down into two videos because I wanted to be able to cover things better without feeling that kind of time constraint, because I like to keep my videos around an hour, hopefully less if I can, because I think that's just a reasonable time to watch, because anything over that becomes like a documentary or a movie or something. But that's the whole reasoning behind it. And I didn't cover something in detail that I promised I was going to cover in the last video. So that's another reason why I have to do this video. But also, Peter Strzok is going to testify in front of Congress, and we're going to cover that. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to go back to a post from Q that definitely warranted further review. So this is the post here, and it posted to this Twitter video that we watched.
And for the international order that we have worked for generations to build. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
Well, I hope you guys caught that. Disturbing words from our president. And although I did cover his speech when I talked about how what Q was actually saying in the post that came subsequently thereafter, lead in was cover, exit out was missing what I didn't do was tell you how there's this basic there are messages being sent, and Q is sending us a message and telling us to learn something from this message. Now, credit to Serial Brain 2 for breaking this down over on Reddit. Great Awakening. This guy's pretty much a genius when it comes to breaking down some of these Q posts. And this is what I want to talk about. So this speech that he gave, which they said reportedly was to the Bilderberg group, or a group of European leaders, probably pretty much everyone who would be at Bilderberg. So I don't know if it was at the Bilderberg or not, but I don't think they televised a lot of stuff out of there. So I'm not sure if it was from that or not. But let's go back. This is the direct tweet feed and post that Q gives us. Now look what it says here. Bilderberg. The B is a D. Remember that. Just remember that. Okay, and here is the another clip of the speech that Obama references, or that Q references, excuse me. And this is the put together that I want to cover, okay? So there's so much here. Let's start. It's going to be how you read this. So it points out first that there is Obama's speech. It says the B is supposed to be a D, so it's supposed to be Bilderberg. This was the post from Q where it says lead in was cover, exit was missing what, exit out was missing what, right? Then you go over here and you see this, and you're supposed to read it kind of this way. It says re-reviewed red stringer, focus on Hussein AIDS video, cross-reference date of stringer versus video, learn to decider. Q says decider instead of decipher. It says news unlocks message, find the keystone Q. Okay, so what they're saying is that this is all a part of a way of sending encrypted messages. And we're going to go into this further. It's called a Caesar cipher. And it's just a way of basically encryption that's used usually to encrypt information so it's not readily available to read. And it just has to deal with moving digits and places in order to basically realign the alphabet in order to write in a ciphered code. if that makes sense. Now, it's pointing to this Q post where it says red stringer 25th, Hussein red video 27th response, Hussein in Asia on 28th post stringer analyze coincidence, more than one meeting, Hussein red indicate indictments, variables, think circle, expand your thinking, take multiple paths, one connects to the other, learn to read the map is the key, find the keystone, what holds everything together. Okay, and it's saying right here in this post that we're going to look at, where it says, Q is talking about this from December 4th, saying, expand your thinking, when did Hussein travel to Asia? When was the stringer released? When was the red video taped? Do you believe in coincidences? Now, what they're pointing at is that President Obama is using the mainstream media to send ciphered messages. So right here, it's pointing out the fact that this video was posted on November 29th, and Q is basically laying it out for us that this video was a ciphered code that was delivered, right? And what was that cipher? Well, it sets up the D apparently would be representative of the beginning or the set point to the cipher, the Caesar cipher, so that it's for decoding things, right? And then it finishes off here basically saying, or these last two ones say, the Obama Bilderberg video is the solution to a coded message hidden in Obama's official speech. Obama's speeches are coded just like his AIDS video was coded using recording and release dates to communicate the key D4 for a Caesar deciphering. The recipients of the message were distributed secret roles and actions, right? And it's talking about red, remember, Hussein AIDS video, hidden message, Twitter, or response, Twitter, roles, actions, expand your thinking, news unlocks meaning, Q. So I hope this didn't just jump out of left field on you guys. I hope you guys are able to follow this relatively well. If you're having trouble with this, I recommend you come back here and watch the What is QAnon video and or catch up with where we're at, because there's so much information. It's so hard to go back and go over every single little thing. But this is basically, to me, putting together a story like this. I've already covered this video at length in a previous video months ago. And I remember in covering that video, things I was picking up on was that it was right after the time of the Comey kind of coded tweet that was put out there as a message to Andrew McCabe, and a veiled message to Andrew McCabe. And then it was juxtaposing that against President Obama and what he was doing in this video, and why it was so strange to hear the phraseology that he used and the messages that what would seem to be messages that were hidden inside, but you couldn't have an answer to what those messages mean unless you had something like a starting point to break the cipher, basically like a password to deciphering information. So I wanted to take a minute and cover that because we didn't cover it fully in the last episode, and I had to get back to it. But now we're going to jump into the latest Q posts, which these ones were posted after the video. So I was still putting up that video, and I'm working on getting this new video up. So I'm going to try to get this one up too. So once that one's, not to be confusing, but the video I just made that's going to be uploaded before this will be up, and I'll try to get this up by the morning. Now, here's the Q post. It forwards us to this. Q gives us this graphic, right? What is this graphic of? It's of something very interesting. A letter from Zuckerman Spader, the lawyers representing Special Agent Peter Strzok. And the letter says, quote, I represent Special Agent Peter Strzok. I have read press reports that you are initiating the process to issue a subpoena to Special Agent Strzok to testify before your committee. While you are, of course, free to continue pursuing this process, it is wholly unnecessary. Special Agent Strzok, who has been fully cooperative with the DOJ Office of Inspector General, intends to voluntarily appear and testify before your committee and any other congressional committee that invites him. And that's from Itan Goldman, who is apparently representing Peter Strzok. And in the last video that you guys watched, you heard me probably go on a rant saying, why is Peter Strzok not sitting in front of a congressional committee? This is what the big news that Q's telling us, and he's giving it to us right here. He's breaking it right here. This is going to happen. This is from June 16th, so it was a couple days ago, depending on where you are. And it's a story that's just breaking today. And this is going to be dominating the news cycle tomorrow, unless something else happens, which, hopefully it won't, because this is a big story that needs to get out there. But it says here, June 16th, letter to House Judiciary Committee, Stroke to testify before Congress, no immunity, will not invoke Fifth Amendment. So he's no precondition, not going to invoke the Fifth Amendment, and he's going to testify without immunity. That's pretty big. I can't wait to hear what he has to say to justify his actions. And then it gives this Q post pointing out that previously on April 27th, it was pointed out to us that Peter Strzok was a cooperating witness. And that's why he's been retained at the FBI. And then it says Peter Strzok is a cooperating witness here, of course. And what does Q say? Q says, public learned today. Why? What must be finished? Why still employed? Purpose. Lisa Page released after. Peter Strzok will be released after. Just because something isn't public doesn't mean ... DOJ texts, emails, and then it gives a link to this article out of The Guardian. This is the article. This is the article right here, basically saying that CIA liaison is first casualty of conflict between intelligence agency and Trump. And it's talking about a retired Marine who was not named, who was the liaison between the President Trump White House and the CIA. And this is an article from April of 2017, April 20th of 2017. But it's saying that he was let go in a alleged struggle for power between him and General Flynn's Cohen-Watnick, Ezra Cohen-Watnick, that is, who we mention, or we will mention here a little bit later in upcoming posts. Now, excuse me, to clear my throat, but let's keep going. It says, CIA down 19 this year alone. When will records be unsealed? Shock and awe. Projection. Attacked POTUS Foundation. Acting New York Attorney General told. Why? Clinton Foundation, Killbox brackets, whatever you want to call them. Nightmare Awake brackets, slush fund / children. Claim political attack regarding case against POTUS. Projection. POTUS in Russia. Why? HRC, Hussein, etc. in Russia. Claim POTUS attack case against POTUS. Pattern Q. And yes, there's obviously a pattern. The pattern that is there is the one that is that everything that they're guilty of, they accuse President Trump of doing. Whether it's him being in cahoots with Russia, which we know Hillary and the Uranium One deal and all of her, and Obama and his promise that, once I win the second election, I'll have more flexibility to do whatever I want, basically as the dictator of our country, as he seemed to fill the role of quite well. But this is talking about how also you have the Clinton Foundation and what's going on with that, and the slush fund and the deals with the child trafficking, all the stuff that happened in Haiti. That all is going to be turned around and said, it's just President Trump who's putting together this politically motivated case to go after his political opponents like some kind of, tin pot dictator. No, that is not it. He's pursuing facts in an investigation to uncover criminal deeds. There's a big difference between that and pursuing your political opponents. It just so happens that these people who had committed these crimes, allegedly, are politically active and happen to be adversarial in their stance toward President Trump and his administration, rightfully so, given the fact that they're all being implicated in such basically awful crimes here. And it's saying that the public learned today that Peter Strzok's going to testify. It's going to be a big deal. Trust me, it's going to dominate the news cycle as we watch through it tomorrow morning and through to the next few days, I'm sure. But it's saying that these people, Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, they're cooperating. They're going to be released after all this is done. And, they've basically wet themselves, if you will. And they decided to just tell the truth. And so they sent some texts, and they made some very, very poor choices in the way they handled the investigations and whatnot. At least they're doing the right thing now and telling the truth. And it would be a real pleasure to see Peter Strzok get up on Capitol Hill and just tell the truth about what happened when he knows the truth. They know the truth. They know they were biased. They know that they set up the investigation so that Hillary could walk away. Of course, they're not going to say that. Of course, it's my wishful thinking, but it is the hope. You hope that these people grow a conscience somewhere between here and then, and decide to do the right thing. But we'll have to wait and see about that. And it's saying just because something isn't public doesn't mean it isn't true. Basically, I think without, if I could finish Q's sentence there, the DOJ and text emails are true. They're fact. They're there. The Guardian report is talking about Ezra Cohen Watnick, who was released from the White House in this kind of a battle between forces, the forces who were trying to give President Trump the truth and the forces that were trying to deceive him and make him do all of these evil things that the deep state and others have basically frequently done. And it's something you can watch the last few dozen videos I've put up, and I'm sure you'll get a good idea of what I'm talking about without me having to go back and get into all of that. And we're going to talk about that further. 19 down, yes. When will records be unsealed? It'll be a shock and awe. But the projection, he's giving us the forward projection for what I think is going to be coming up. So that's it. And here's the next one. Important to remember, and it gives us a link to this article. And this article is actually important to note because what this article talks about is the fired White House official hired by the DOJ at Trump's insistence. So Trump insisted after this man was pushed out of the White House, this Ezra Cohen Watnick. This guy was a 31-year-old intelligence officer from the Department of Defense Intelligence or something like that. He was working with General Flynn when Flynn was there. And he was basically pushed out of the White House by McMaster because McMaster was obviously not a good actor in this. And it would seem that this individual was requested vehemently by President Trump to be brought back into power. And now he is advising U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions. And he's acting as his basically... I think it was his national security advisor to the attorney general, I believe. So this is beyond important as far as connecting all the dots here. And it's his national security advisor for Attorney General Jeff Sessions. So he's been demanded to be brought back in. And in this report that we were reading here, it's saying that he was the one who was pushed out by basically those that we have known now to be deep state, who we gave them enough rope to, basically take care of themselves, metaphorically speaking. And that's what that's pointing to. Now, the next one is Q giving us this tweet, right? And it's from Devin Nunes saying, can anyone tell me who the DOJ lawyer that speaks French via text in the IG report? This will save a lot of time in the hearings this week, so my colleagues won't have to ask this question. Then it says, see next, eggshells Q. Well, the next is this. And this is a Q post that we've got from a long time ago. And what's interesting about this one is it goes through all the people who are fired or forced out or resigning because they've been implicated in being involved in this. It also mentions Jim Baker, Lisa Page, Mike Corton, Josh Campbell. What stood out to me is somebody who keeps getting mentioned by Q, and I think it's somebody important to note. Rachel Brand, who was the number 3 in charge, right below Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein. She was fired or forced, and I really believe that if we look at this text message from... I'm sorry, I lost the text message. If we look at the text message that Q's trying to point us to here, yeah, sorry about that. I was jumping around through tabs. I got so many open. It's got a lot of stuff open here. So this tab, though, or this tweet, excuse me, is referring to Rachel Brand, I think. I think Rachel Brand is the person. That's why she resigned. That's why she got out of the way, because she knew she was going to be implicated. I mean, she's on these text messages saying "Viva la Resistance," and she probably just had enough common sense to say, "I'm going to get out of here because I realized what I did was very wrong." And she fell into this Walmart job. But this is speculation on my part. She could have done these things for good reasons. I wait to hear your input in the comments. You guys let me know what you think. But eggshells, meaning, this is a touchy subject, or we got to walk on eggshells, or I don't know what the eggshells is really saying. But I did go through this, and that's what made sense to me. And of course, here's the last post from Q. It's saying, D, morning sun brings heat, full moon coming, undiscovered stars learned, missions forward, Q. Okay, so a lot of people have broken this down to mean a few different things. Morning, D, Democrat, that's the best I can really come up with. Defense, Democrat, not sure. You guys will let me know in the comments. The next one is morning sun brings heat. Then it says full moon coming, undiscovered stars learned, missions forward, Q. And if you look, these are all capitalized, and it says DMFUMQ. And so the initial take is that morning sun obviously is talking about bringing the heat. It means tomorrow morning when you guys are waking up, probably just cracking a nice cup of coffee out and listening to this video as you enjoy your morning. You'll be probably seeing news starting to break already that Peter Strzok is going to be testifying in front of Congress, and then there's going to be a whole set of coverage that's going to follow after that. But it's saying full moon coming, so full moons usually mark big events. And apparently, I guess I'm sure we're coming up on another full moon at some point here. Undiscovered stars learned. This may be saying that people who were not in the spotlight before, who have not been being called out for what they've been involved in, are going to be revealed. And that the missions forward, so missions, so there's multiple, obviously, plural, and they're all being pushed forward at this point. And the other thing that's interesting to note is that if you look back at what we talked about D being the letter that starts the Caesar cipher, to understand some of these coded messages that are being put out by Obama to his whoever, the people who still seem to be loyal to this guy, which who knows who they are. But we have a good idea of who some of them are, but not all of them. I'll say that. But would this be some kind of Caesar cipher thing here? I mean, I don't know. I'm not really great with the coding, like actual encryption and all that stuff. I know a lot of the basics, but I'm not sure if there's anything to be put together about DMFUMQ. If you guys have anything to add on that, I'd love to hear your take in the comments. So you guys can go contribute there. I hope I covered everything in a little bit more detail. That the thing with the secret messages in the President Obama videos is the one thing I wanted to get back and cover. So I'm glad we got back to cover that. Sorry if this is a repeat for some of you guys, but just to let you guys know, I am going to be speaking at the American Priority Conference in Washington, D.C. on September 6th through 8th. I'll be there. You guys can come get more information at my Twitter page at Justin_formed. It's the pinned tweet at the top, and you can get all the information you want to know about that. But also come check out at Justin_formed if you guys just want to get involved with the channel and help me out. Another thing is I'm doing my best here to create my own website, right, where I'm going to host all my content. I'm going to give you guys some news. I'm going to post all these videos there so that I don't have to worry about the censorship of YouTube, and I can also work a lot more freely with the content that is being presented to me outside of certain guidelines that always seem to be, followed, I guess. But this is a great way to help. You can go to GoFundMe.com and you can search Just Informed Talk. You'll find this page. It's the Help Create JustInformedNews.com page, or you can go to GoFundMe.com/JustInformedTalk. Come here, make a contribution. And the rate we're going, this website's going to be up in no time, so I appreciate all your help. Thank you to everyone who has come here and contributed, and that is definitely a big help to the channel. Now, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. If you guys are looking for a way to contribute to the channel itself, the best way to do it is to come here and click the big red subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That's the best way. The second best way is to scroll down at the end of this video, leave your thoughts, theories, and insights in the comments, because like I say, we try to have our own QAnon research board at the end of each one of these videos where we talk about the news and what Q's posting and how it all correlates, and what more information we can find out of those through a broad analysis with so many different eyes on it. It is just an incredible time. Even if you can't comment, just scroll down and read through the comments, because you're going to learn something you didn't know. I promise you that. Now, if you're looking to support the channel financially, so this is separate from what I've been getting together for that website fund, please come here to Patreon. That's patreon.com. This is what helps me right now to support the channel, keep it up and running no matter what, so I can bring you guys this content for free, and it's all based on your donations, and I really appreciate it. So you can search Just Informed Talk. You'll come here to this landing page, click this button to become a patron, and that makes a huge difference. So thank you to everyone who comes here and contributes, and all of you who have been contributing. You guys don't even know. Sorry for the delay for those of you who are expecting hats. They are coming. There's just been crazy delay with that for some reason. Anyway, they're coming tomorrow, and they'll be shipping out hopefully soon thereafter. So just look forward to getting those in the mail. If you guys want to know what that's all about, you can come here to Patreon and find out more for yourself. But before we go, we're going to talk about one of the more important things, if not, well, obviously it is the most important thing, and that's God. And God's grace and His love and His mercy, and how we're all just suffering sinners, and we have to pray to God to give us the light and the love of His wisdom and His guidance, so that we know what is right and what is wrong. Because inevitably we're going to be faced with these problems that we as individuals, as humans, can't overcome. We have to have God. We have to have that light in our heart, that love in our heart, in order to overcome it in the right way. A lot of people think they're overcoming things, and they think they're doing the right thing, when maybe it's not exactly what God intended, because you don't include God in every decision. And today we're going to read Psalm 35, and it's a prayer for victory, and it's a call for victory as we look to God for everything, to guide us and to give us wisdom and to put us in the right mindset to do what is right. So here it goes. It says, "Oppose my opponents, Lord. Fight those who fight me. Take your shields, large and small, and come to my aid. Draw the spear and javelin against my pursuers, and assure me I am your deliverance. Let those who seek to kill me be disgraced and humiliated. Let those who plan to harm me be turned back and ashamed. Let them be like husks in the wind, with the angel of the Lord driving them away. Let their way be dark and slippery, with the angel of the Lord pursuing them. They hid their net for me without cause. They dug a pit for me without cause. Let ruin come on him unexpectedly, and let the net that he did ensnare him. Let him fall into it, to his ruin. Then I will rejoice in the Lord. I will delight in his deliverance. My very bones will say, Lord, who is like you, rescuing the poor from one too strong for him, the poor or the needy from one who robs him? Malicious witnesses come forward. They question me about things I do not know. They repay me evil for good, making me desolate. Yet when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled myself with fasting, and my prayer was genuine. I went about grieving as if for my friend or brother. I was bowed down with grief like one mourning a mother. But when I stumbled, they gathered in glee. They gathered against me, assailants I did not know, tore at me, and did not stop with godless mockery. They gnashed their teeth. Lord, how long will you look on? Rescue my life from their ravages, My very life from the young lions I will praise you. In the great congregation I will exalt among many people. Do not let my deceitful enemies rejoice over me. Yeah, that is that. These messages that are here in Psalms are really powerful because they give you these stories. They basically put you in this position where you almost can identify with the person writing it. You have that ability to say, it's written in a sense where you're calling out to God through the words of another. And that other person is feeling the same kind of raw emotions that we feel on a daily basis here in today's world. But this was a long time ago. And what's important is to note that God's love transcends time. This is a timeless thing. And although we have a finite period of time here on earth as humans alive, we need to seek God's wisdom and guidance every day, because when that time is up here, that finite small blip in the galaxy's timeline, you're going to have an eternal life with God, and that's the more important one. That's the one we need to start preparing for now. So I pray for each and every one of you to begin that preparation for the day you do meet your Maker, because in case you didn't know, we're all going to meet God one day, and it's going to be up to you to decide how God is able to judge your life based on what you've done. So I'm going to leave it there, and I take the same advice for myself. Trust me, I'm not perfect, and I know that I'm going to have things to answer for when I make it to heaven, and I work every day to atone for anything I've ever done wrong, but then also to create a positive relationship with God where He can embrace me and give me the guidance, give me the wisdom to do what is right. And that's how we should all, in my opinion, just look to God as being our mentor, our savior, our reason for existence, our eternal life everlasting, and the friend who will always be there to take care of you. Because never forget, God's love is eternal, and as long as you embrace it, you will be blessed. But you have to embrace it fully, and it may take time, but God is always there, and just have patience and trust in the Lord. That's the best advice I could really give anyone. So I want to say thank you all for watching. I hope this episode cleared up some things from the previous episode, and it covered the latest Q post, so that tomorrow you guys will have all the information. But that's going to be it for me. I want to say again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please come here, hit the big red subscribe button. That helps me out big time. But that's going to be it for this episode. I want to say thank you for watching again. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.